Hello, going outside of my comfort zone. This is my first video and I hope you're going to be okay with it. So I am not aiming for perfection, but I just wanted to share with you a few tips that we are all going through this coronavirus crisis together, and I really wanted to share a few sharing with you. So what's happening with us? It's very difficult to feel motivated, energized, happy, because things are changing. Corona is impacting our life, how we work, who we want to see, how we want to interact with our colleagues, with our family members. We can't even travel anymore. I'm from Australia. I can't come back to Australia anymore. There are no more flights. So a lot of things are happening, and that adds to stress. So this is why I think it's important for us to think that actually to be happy is possible despite Corona. So in this video, this is what I'd like to share with you. So my name is Mi Holland. I'm the CEO of EQuest Asia. So we're based in Vietnam now. We relocated from Australia, and our mission is to help people to thrive, to help organizations to thrive, and even now is even more. How can you thrive when you have a crisis, a leadership crisis, and a crisis everywhere in the world? Small or big companies, family, or any countries, we're all going through the same thing together. So I wanted to share with you today about happiness is actually possible. 20th of March, it's a very special day. Of course, you might know it's the United Nations International Day of Happiness. But for me, it's also a very special day because it's also my birthday. Well, Mr. Ban Ki-moon has chosen that day, not me. But what I wanted to say is it is a reminder for us to be able to focus on happiness even if we don't feel like it. So what is it that we can do to bring happiness consciously with intention in our new daily life, now that we have been challenged on a daily basis about how we deal with work and how we deal with the family, how we can work from home with having children around and people around us? What is it that we can do practically? Happiness is an inside job, so you might know about it, but now it's the time really to practice this. When we say inside job, it means that you have it within yourself. It's not something that you are going to buy in a bookshelf or at the supermarket, which now are not very well furnished anyway. Sustainable happiness is something that you want to aim for and you want to work on, like a normal muscle. If you want to be strong, you go to the gym and you train. You want to be mentally healthy and mentally tough in a good way, you need also to train your brain dealing with negative emotions and dealing with challenges. So which means that you have to reframe how you see things. It's possible to be happy when you want to reframe what's happening to you. So we have the International Law of Happiness, but what I'd like to ask you to do now is to think, what makes you happy now, even if we have COVID-19, which is changing our life? What makes you happy? Maybe for a few of you, might be to see like, well, my happiness is to see my family healthy. And I'd like you just to think about it. Is it the kind of wish that you had before we had Corona? What else can you wish? What else can you think about when we're talking about sustainable happiness? It can also mean about, making sure that the people that you love are really going through this tough time together and really being present in their resilience, really practicing their resilience together. To thrive is such a big word to use, especially now that we're going through this crisis together. Is it really possible to thrive when everything has changed so suddenly? Everything has challenged us just to see how agile, how adaptable, how flexible, how emotionally agile we can be. How is it possible to thrive? And is it possible to thrive? Yes. So think about a few years ago in 2008 during the last recession, financial crisis. Think about that time that we all went through together again. You might remember that you and I, to deal with that challenge, really have to really think outside the box. To give assurance for people to buy their cars, what they say is, we buy back your car if you lose your job. So this is the kind of way forward they'd like you to travel in that journey, in that path. So it's not, Corona is not stopping your life. It's helping you to deal with things differently. So it's up to us now how to be emotionally agile and to be able to step out what we used to be and what we used to do in a certain way, and now just to think about differently. Does it make me happy or not? But what about if I can think about the type of emotions that I acknowledge, I accept, but I don't want to go on that path? Then, when you're conscious of that, you are able to move and be more mobile in your emotional intelligence. So basically, it's to challenge the status quo in different innovative ways. And then when you do this, you really reframe your uncertainty about what's happening to you now. Few tips for you to remember and practice if you want to practice sustainable happiness. And it's really about being aware about what's happening in your body. And we call it also mindful practices. Mindful practices is really about being aware of what is happening in your body. Basically, having a body scan. Then you really start just to enjoy the moment because you want to enjoy the moment. You're not sure about what's happening tomorrow, but now you know what's happening with you. You really have just to go through about being aware of what's happening in yourself first, and in your mind, and in your body. So enjoying the presence is step 1. Step 2 is to practice gratitude, is to look what you have already, but you have not made time because you were busy. To look into what you have already and that you didn't know that you have. For instance, it can be your health. We have not noticed that we were healthy, that we were able to breathe clean air, that we were able to eat clean food. We're not able to think that it's easy to travel. Now everything that we have taken for granted is suddenly being challenged. So I'd like you to step into that mindset. Start to look about what you have already, rather than thinking, what is it that I can't have? Such as traveling overseas, for instance. Okay. Item number 3. Think about 3 good things, 3 positive things which are happening to you today. You can also do it another gratitude list, but limit it to 3. So this is the kind of exercise that you can really link to the second one as well. So practicing those little tips can actually help you, your colleagues and your family to enjoy the day and to see where you're at mentally. And it's important to have that conscious choice, that intention to say like, we are not going to be under that negative emotions for spiral, but we're going to be in charge of it and we can manage it. So next session, what I like to share with you is about a few tips about how to deal with COVID-19 with emotional intelligence point of view. So talk to you later and see you soon. Bye.